The Bodhisattva Kashyapa then spoke up again. "World-honored one, this is excellent, excellent. What the Tathagata has expounded is true and meaningful, and I graciously accept it like pure gold, a rarity even among jewels. As the Buddha has explained, bhikshus should rely on the Dharma of the 4 forms of spiritual support. What are those reliances? Rely on the teaching rather than the person. Rely on the meaning rather than the language used to express it. Rely on wisdom rather than discursive knowledge. Rely on the sutra that is definitive rather than the sutra whose meaning is indeterminate. Taking the Dharma of these 4 as one's refuge is what should be acknowledged, not the 4 types of people." The Buddha said, "Good man, the Dharma to be taken as one's refuge is none other than this Mahaparinirvana of the Tathagata. As the Dharma of all Buddhas, it is the Dharmata, the nature of reality. And as the Dharmata, it is what the Tathagata is. This is why the Tathagata is a permanently abiding presence without change. If someone were to say that the Tathagata is impermanent, that person would not understand. He or she has not seen the nature of reality. If someone does not know or sees the nature of reality, they should not be regarded as someone upon whom to rely. As I said earlier, the 4 types of people active in the world who support this Dharma must realize this to become a refuge for others. Why is this so? Because those people will have fully grasped the oracle and profound treasury that is the Tathagata Garbha, and therefore would understand that the Tathagata is a constant presence and not subject to change. If someone were to say that the Tathagata is impermanent and subject to change, there would be no foundation for such a statement. The 4 types of people who have this understanding can thus be called Tathagatas. Why? Because these people will be able to grasp the Tathagata's recondite language and even expound upon it. If someone did understand this deeply hidden Tathagata treasury, and did understand that the Tathagata abides permanently and is unchangeable, but nevertheless preached that the Tathagata is impermanent in order to gain favor from others, there would be no foundation for what he would be doing. How could such a person become a spiritual support for others? How much more so can people not rely on anyone among these 4 groups of people following the Dharma who would act in this way? The Dharma is to take refuge in the reality of Dharmata. The reality of Dharmata is a Tathagata. A Shravaka disciple is a created phenomenon. A Tathagata is permanently abiding. A created phenomenon is impermanent. Good man, if someone violates the precepts, or for personal gain preaches that the Tathagata is impermanent and changeable, such a person should not be relied upon as a source of refuge. Good man, instead you should rely on what I call the definitive meanings. In the phrase, rely on the meaning rather than the language used to express it, by the word meaning I was referring to what should be clearly understood. The meaning of what is clearly understood refers to something that is not reduced. By not reduced, I am referring to what is complete. A meaning that is complete could be the label for the Tathagata is a constantly abiding presence and unchanging. The meaning of the Tathagata is a constantly abiding presence and unchanging is none other than the Dharma is permanent. The meaning of the Dharma is permanent is none other than the Sangha is permanent. This is what I meant in saying, rely on the meaning rather than the language used to express it.